I've got Danny King, the one and only. He's a drummer for Powershrine, and he's well known for being in Lillian Axe. What's up, brother?
Oh man, just thrilled to be on the show, man. Thank you so much for giving us some of your time.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, what's been going on with you, Danny? I mean, since the Lillian Axe days, I would like to talk a little bit about Lillian Axe too. I mean, you were a huge part of that band.
I'm, considered the original drummer, along with Michael, my bass player and partner in Powershrine, was the original bass player for Lillian. Right up, I think, until '87 when Michael left, and I stayed on for a number of years longer. Through the first three records of our contract, and before I left, and I kind of got out of the music business for a number of years, and got back in. Michael and I kind of got back together, and always loved working together.
Well, hell yeah, man. See, I mean, definitely, you've got a lot of experience over the years. I mean, you've been in the spotlight, and it's really cool to see you come back, man. Danny, you've always been a huge inspiration for me as a drummer, you know?
I didn't know you were a drummer.
Yeah, man. Definitely. And actually, I got a guy over here right now. We're playing piano and drums tonight after this interview, so definitely, man.
I want to be there.
Hell yeah, you could probably teach me some lessons, man.
You know what? You could probably teach me some stuff too, man. Believe me. There's nobody out there. That's my theory. There's nobody out there that's so bad that you can't learn something from them.
That's right, man. And it's kind of crazy. My kid wants to be playing like the piano and stuff like that. And my boy here, Robert, actually come over a few nights ago, and they were both like teaching each other off of YouTube, which I think is a great thing if you really want to learn an instrument nowadays. It seems like.
I tell you what, I kind of question. You see, I have a 17-year-old son, lives with me. He plays drums, guitar, and bass.
Wow.
And he's doing a lot of that. He's basically, he wanted a guitar. I got him a guitar and an amp. He wanted a bass. A friend of mine loaned him a bass, and an amp, and he started, going on YouTube. 3 days later, I'm walking by, and he's rocking out songs, soloing. I'm like, where did you learn that? It's amazing how fast they can pick things up nowadays.
Yeah, man, and it really is it can be a bad tool, but it's really a successful tool as well.
That's the funny thing, because when my son first started playing, he started on drums. He started playing on my drums, and I was incredibly hesitant to teach him. Dad, show me this, because I'm a self-taught drummer, always have been. And I can play, but I don't. 90% of what I do is probably wrong, and I was really kind of hesitant to teach him because I didn't want to give him bad habits. But now the way he's learning anyway, I'm like, wow, I should have just taught him.
Right. Well, I was telling my buddy Robert here, the other day, I was telling him about like trying to teach somebody how to play drums. Like, I get really impatient. Because if you're not coordinated to move that one foot or this foot or your hands, like, it's just like, that's really hard to teach somebody. I feel like if you could do one thing at a time, I can actually get in there and maybe help, but I'm not a good teacher.
Well, you got to have an amazing amount of patience, and like I said, I've been asked many times over the years to teach, and, I always shy away. Because, who am I to teach? I taught myself. And I just, I'm just very hesitant to teach people, because I know I do so many things wrong. I get them done, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to knock myself, but, I know I'm not doing them the proper way. I'm not, and I don't want to teach bad habits, so I just stick to doing what I do. If people get off on it, great, and, if you want to learn, go out there and learn from somebody who knows what the hell they're talking about. I'm not that guy.
I love how you say that, man. You basically would have said what I would have said if I was asked that question, man. But, for you, how in the hell did you come up with, what was the concept when you put Powershrine together? I'd like to get back on that subject, because, you guys got a 3-song demo out, and I think
it's 2.
Yeah, 2. Excuse me.
Yes. It's a weird story, actually. Michael and I was rehearsing with a cover band. I had just come back after I was living in Biloxi with my wife and kids. When Katrina hit, we lost everything. I mean, everything. And I'm from New York, born and raised, all my family up there. We basically, we had evacuated with an overnight bag of clothes, and that was all we had left. And we went up to New York, nowhere else to go. And we're up there for a number of years. And at that point, I hadn't played drums for probably just under 21 years. I had put it away. When I left Lillian, I messed with a couple of little things. And, I just kind of, said, you know what, I just don't have the patience to start from scratch. After all the years and work we put in, I just didn't have it in me to start over again. So I just kind of walked away and focused on making money and starting a family and just kind of forgot about it for a long time. After Katrina, we end up in New York, and I'm working like 7 jobs trying to make ends meet up there. It's rough. And one of the jobs that I had, my ex-wife had sent me an ad that she found on the internet for a KISS tribute band that was looking for a drummer that already had a drum kit. Because at this point, I hadn't owned the drums in, more than a decade and a half since I'd owned a pair of sticks.
Wow, dude, I would love to own one of your old drum sets.
You know what? I got rid of all of them. I actually know a dude who had one. I have to find out what he did with it, because I kind of like to see it again. I love that kit. But anyway, so, my wife sends me the ad, and I'm like, yeah, right, sure, you kidding me? And I delete it, and she emails it to me again, and I delete it. And this went on for a week. 2 or 3 weeks, she kept sending me the thing, and I kept deleting it. And then she gets on my cousin Mike, who lives up in New York. He was Lillian Axe's guitar tech for a number of years, like a brother to me. Great dude. Michael Knipfing, shout out, if you're listening. She kind of put it in his ear, and he started working on me, too. Next thing you know, I'm on the phone, call the guy up, and they're having auditions the very next night in the city. Michael's like, come on, we'll go, we'll go, we'll go have a couple of drinks, loosen up, we'll go over there, you get to sit down and jam some KISS tunes, I get to listen to some KISS tunes, because him and I coming up as kids, we were huge KISS fans. He got me into music, especially into KISS. So we go out there, we do the audition, they've got like 5 other guys auditioning, I'm the last minute audition. We stopped off, bought a couple pairs of sticks, and a used double pedal, because they wanted me to play Eric Carr instead of Peter Criss. At that time, they were doing Eric Carr things. And I get the audition. The guy emailed me the songs the day before, live KISS arrangements. And it was like 5 songs, including Black Diamond, which I had to sing, which was not pretty, because I'm not that great a singer. And somehow I got the gig.
Wow.
And next thing you know, I'm in my 40s, and I'm wearing a spandex bodysuit and, makeup and a wig, because now I'm shaving my head. I don't even have hair. I suddenly, it was embarrassing, and this time, it all came rushing back. Wow, I remember this. This was great. This is the part I missed, was being up there and playing.
Right.
I got the fever again. I got it really bad, and I played with those guys for, I think, almost a year. We didn't play a whole lot, but, it was fun. And we moved back down south. As soon as we got the opportunity, we came back down south. And the first year after I was done working, I had a nice chunk of tax money coming back. My wife was like, you know what, why don't you just, you miss playing, why don't you just get a kid, buy yourself a kid and get back into it. So I did. And, I started kicking around with, messing with a couple of cover band projects. That's where Michael comes back into the picture. He got in touch with me, and he had been working on original songs. He started playing a lot of guitar, and he was writing a lot of riffs, and he just wanted to go in the studio and record some stuff. So I'm doing rehearsals at this bass player's house out here on the coast in Mississippi, and, at night, and he's got a rehearsal room where my drums just kind of stayed because I was rehearsing with him for months. Michael started coming out during the day, and we would go into the rehearsal room for a few hours and just mess with some of his original ideas. And that was basically the start of Powershrine. It was just him and I were going to pick out some stuff, arrange it, work it out, and then go in the studio and record with whomever, And that was essentially the infant, well, we're still in the infant stage of Powershrine. I should come up with a better phrase than that. But eventually, Circle of Light came about. Lillian Axe was inducted into the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame, and they were kind enough to induct all of us, the original lineup and the current lineup. And there was kind of a buzz started going. Next thing you know, we're talking about reunion dates. We formed Circle of Light, which is the original 4 members of Lillian Axe. Johnny Vines, the singer, Steve Blaze, Michael, and I.
Right.
And that started happening at the same time. I joined another cover band that was really working a lot. So I kind of backed away from Powershrine. I just didn't have the time anymore. I was still married at the time. I was working. I had, too many projects. So I kind of backed away, and Powershrine kind of went into a cocoon for a little while. Few months later, we start doing, we do our first Circle of Light show. Goes okay, so we book another one. The second show, we have a band from down on the bayou called Outpost 11, kick-ass band. They have this amazing lead singer / drummer, which you don't see a whole lot in rock, and he's a really good drummer, good singer. Very difficult to pull off the two, but he did a great job. So him and Michael get together, and they start picking up where he and I left off. This is Richard Plaisance, by the way. I should preface that with his name. And they start going at it, writing, putting stuff together. In fact, I mentioned that we had 2 EPs out. The very first EP, another 3-song EP, was done with just Michael and Richard. It was just the 2 of them, and they were Powershrine at the time. I wasn't even involved.
Right.
Anymore. Steve Blaze was kind enough to come in and do the lead guitar parts. Michael played all the rhythms and bass guitars. Richie played the drums and did all the vocals. So that was just basically a 2-man job, the first CD, and, with Blaze on doing the solos.
Right.
And, it was shortly after that, my calendar opened wide open, and, I was available, and the opportunity came for me to step back in, and I was more than happy to do it. Richie, trooper that he is, performer that he is, stepped out from behind the kit and became a front man, which, hats off to him, balls of steel. He'd never done it before. He'd been a lead singer before, but always from behind the drums. Takes, big brass ones to get out from behind that kit and step out front, and he's, thus far done an amazing job. All the respect in the world to the guy. Really tough transition to make. So now we're a 3-piece, and we immediately start writing.
Hell yeah.
Our first effort, we came in, I think, with 4 or 5 songs that we got to the point where we liked them. Went into the studio, threw down, ended up recording 4 of them. One of which to be honest with you, I did the lyrics on it. Really good verses, really cool chorus, really cool verses and bridge, but I just couldn't come up with a good chorus. And we just blew it off. We ended up abandoning that one. So we ended up with a 3-song CD, which I imagine are holding in your hand.
Definitely.
And that is Powershrine 2, which we hopefully at some point will get to hear a little bit of tonight.
Hell yeah. We're about to play a track. I wanted to say, you being from Biloxi, when I went down and recorded, I worked with a little bit of the guy that kind of helped 3 Doors Down make it, and I'm talking about Clyde Hawley. I don't know. He passed. Okay. I don't know if you know him, but he passed away during the making of our CD, and what a tragedy. But hey, it is what it is, man. You never know. Yeah,
I am familiar with his work. I actually have another friend of mine out here that did a lot of work with 3 Doors when they were just coming up. A friend of mine, Bill Harshbarger, who I actually played in the cover band briefly with.
Oh, cool.
Real nice guy, good bass player, good singer.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, why don't we jump off into a song called No Longer? Could you give me some scoop on the song, brother?
That is actually the first song that we completed as the 3 of us, Michael and Richard and myself. It was one of the very first songs that we wrote and got together and completed. Michael did the music for that. I think I actually wrote the words and the melody for that one, while Richie was actually writing lyrics and melody for the first song on that CD. So No Longer is sort of our slow, dark, brooding song, and I think it's cool as shit. I hope everybody likes it. Let
yeah.
Hear it.
Hell yeah. Is there anywhere, if anybody likes what they're hearing tonight, brother, is there anywhere we can pick this up?
Well, I tell you, that's something I hadn't touched on yet that I wanted to make a point of. You know, we have our 2 CDs out here in Powershrine, and we're writing more. To date, we have never once attempted or sold a single piece of music. We give it all away. You can catch us on Facebook and get our player. You can catch our Reverb Nation page, or hell, you can email me and I'll mail you one. It's free. It's out there. We're writing and putting it out there and giving it away. We just want to create and hopefully touch on some stuff that'll move people, you know, to the point where maybe someday, hey, we can sell it.
Hell yeah. And man, that's amazing. A lot of bands don't do that. Let's jump off into this and I'll be right back with you, Danny.
You got it.
All right, guys. Hey, please check them out. This is Powershrine. This is called No Longer. Please email them. Hey, you can pick this up for free. That's amazing. Radio and also Global Rock Radio. Hey guys, that was Powershrine with No Longer, and I've got one of the masterminds of the band, and I'm talking about Danny King, the one and only. He was original member for Lily and Axe. Hey, and Danny, I would like to ask you something, brother. I mean, what's been one of the biggest highlights of your career that you've actually, like, have you been on a stage where you were like, man, I can't believe I'm on a stage with this band or this artist? What's been the biggest highlight for you?
There've been a lot, that I've got to play over the years with Lillian. Lillian we never maybe, sold the big records and had the big hit, but we accomplished quite a bit, even before we were signed, we did quite a lot. We got to play with a lot of bands, that were, really amazing. We got to open for Queensryche, which is a band I love.
Oh my God, I wish Jeffrey Tate was still in the band. I believe they're out of Seattle.
Yes, absolutely. They're still around. They've got an amazing new singer. And they're still doing it, and I'm still a fan. I'm still listening. We got to open for King's X, who was a band. Sort of a more underground type of band. I guess never had the huge commercial success, but an amazing band, great dudes.
I love them. I love
many.
Them.
I think the biggest moment for me was when we got the Rat Tour, the very first time stepping out on an arena stage, and the house lights come up. The intro tape's over, the house lights come up, you count 4, and boom, you look out there, and it's just oceans of people. For me, that was probably, that was the culmination of a dream I had since, I was a teenager. Wow. To actually be up there doing it was pretty amazing.
I bet. And did you get to do that with Stephen Crosby in the band, or? With
Robin, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, Robin actually
I meant Robin.
Produced Lillian Axe's first album.
Yeah.
He was our producer. Yeah, he was a great dude, man.
And I said, Steven, how dumb am I? I'm sitting here like, that's crazy. Yeah, Robin was a great guy. I believe he died of AIDS, man, which is a sad story, man.
Yeah. God rest his soul. He was a really great dude. I really liked him. He was a lot of fun. And it was really tragic what happened to him. But, it's the pitfalls of the business, the drugs and the sex and it all sounds, fun and good until someone gets hurt, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
And, it was really sad about Robin. I still think about him at times, the way he went out. It was very sad.
Yeah, man.
I have great memories of the guy, so, I've got that.
Yeah, it's really cool, man, that you were talking about being in a Kiss tribute band earlier during this interview. I'm kind of good friends with Rick Fox, which helped Wasp with their name, and actually was original bass player. And he's actually from New York, and he dated Peter Criss's sister. He got to see Kiss evolve before the makeup.
I'm sitting here looking right now across the room, a gift from a good friend of mine, Mike Parker. I have an autographed Peter Criss drumhead from the Farewell Tour, I believe, 2000. Can't read it from here, but I was just sitting here looking at it when you said Kiss.
Yeah.
One of my prized possessions. Never got to meet Peter, but always wanted to.
Yeah, I just thought that was unique that you're from New York and all those guys were from like the Brooklyn area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Those guys, that band is responsible for me being in music. That's all there is to it. Say what you want about them. They got me into music. They blew me away the first time I heard them. Peter Criss is my first drum teacher. I learned how to play drums just hammering out Kiss records in my room on a little 5-piece kit, on a vinyl record with the volume cranked all the way up. That's how I learned every lick and beat that I've got, just about, So,
and that's something else I'd like to ask you, Danny. I mean, when you guys actually made it big in Lily and Axe, I mean, record sales and stuff were totally different. Labels were different. How have you seen that change over the years?
I mean, the business is completely flip-flopped, record sales is just not something you can really count on anymore. It used to be, in my day, in the 80s, the glorious '80s. God, I wish they were still around.
I do too.
You know,
man. I swear I do.
And it was all about record sales. You know, you toured to support the album, to sell those records. Nowadays, you know, with the internet and buying by the song and downloading and pirating, you know, I mean, basically it's just gone the opposite. Now bands have to tour to make their money.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's why you see so many guys now, you know, your Corey Taylors and such that are in 2 or 3 bands. My good buddy for another friend of ours here in New Orleans for 30-something years, Kirk Winstein, who's right now in Eastern Europe touring with his band Crowbar. You know, he was in Crowbar, Down, Kingdom of Sorrow. You know, I mean, you got to stay out on the road and stay working to make the money in the business nowadays. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I have to say, I love Crowbar and Down. And I wish Pepper would actually go back and do some Corrosion of Conformity, dude. That would be so awesome.
I thought they were going to tour. I thought I heard that very recently, that they were actually going to tour.
Oh, that would be so cool. I will go to that because.
I mean, I hope I didn't just dream that and just make that up. I don't want to start any rumors that aren't true. But I swear I heard that just recently.
Well, man, you probably did. I tell you what, that would be amazing. I tell you, I listened to Pepper's guitar playing, and wow, just a style, and it's really cool to see him being in Down and what he's done. I mean, amazing stuff, man. But yeah, man, that's really cool. You know those guys, man. I love me some Crowbar, man.
Places. So yeah, Kirk and us, we go way back, way back. Big fans of anything he does. He's an amazing guy, amazing musician, and you know I wish him all the best.
I'm trying to grow my goatee longer than him.
You know what? Every time I start trying to grow mine out, it just gets so ratty. I get frustrated and just shorten it again. I end up trimming it because it just gets ratted out.
Hey man, mine's getting down there, and I was just looking at a picture of oh my god, the guy from Static X. What's his name?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of his name either.
I
know
love
what
him.
You're talking about. That's where yours is at now.
Oh man, no, I wish.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm wanting to grow mine out. I've tried to do it at least a half a dozen times. You know, and like I said, it just, you know, you wake up in the morning and it's just all freaky looking and messy looking, and I just get frustrated with it, and I shave it off. I just need to man up and bite down and just let it go. You know, it's like, I guess it's like growing your hair out. You got to get past that awkward phase.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, man, and I'll tell you what, man. You know, I tried to grow dreadlocks when I was younger, when I actually had hair, and I had to cut that shit out of my head, man, because it just got to where I couldn't take care of it.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that. Now, of course, I've been shaving my head now for about 13, 14 years, so, I mean, for me, the thought of even having a crew cut is just too much work, you know, at this point.
Hell yeah.
I got so used to shaving it once or twice a week in the shower, and that's it. You don't have to think about it anymore. I could never go back to dealing with hair again.
Well, hell yeah, man. Well, let's talk a little bit about some shows. Do you guys got some upcoming shows?
Well, yeah, a little bit. You know, we actually it got to the point where, you know, I mean, like I said, you know, Powershrine was basically nothing but a studio project. Never had any aspirations of going out and doing live shows. All we really wanted to do was get in there and write and record.
Right.
And just create. And I mean, you know, it's a learning curve. It's a learning process. We're still learning it, but we're getting better at it. We're getting good at it. And, you know, consequently, we've got a few offers here and there for shows. We actually, not long ago, did a benefit. We were asked to come up and do a set at a benefit. At that point, we were only a 3-piece band. We had 2 drummers and a bass player. All we really had. So we added. You know, we decided we were going to go ahead and fill out the lineup. So we added a couple of guys. Who, if you don't mind, I would love to give a mention here. Our guitar player, lead guitar player, the young gun, young guy from the Bayou named Josh LaRose, 23 years old. Unbelievable, amazing guitar player, brilliant, fast, smart. He's got it all, dude. He's got the greatest attitude. This guy is so happy and so cheerful, so pleasant to work with. And man, when you hear him play, you're like, wow. You know?
Hell yeah.
We've been fortunate on the first two recordings to have Steve Blaze come in and and help us out and do solos for us. But on the next one, it's going to be all Josh LaRose. It's going to be all him.
Well, yeah, and that's cool that you and Steve still have a relationship after so many years of being out of Lily and Axe and coming back and him coming over and or however you recorded it with him. I mean, that's amazing, man.
Well, having a guy like that, in your Rolodex, when you happen to be in a band without a lead guitar player, is certainly a dream come true. And and when you go as far back as we go, first of all, the guy's an amazing musician. There's, you couldn't do any better. And you can't have a history that long, and not still have a relationship. It's just, you can't wash your hands of someone that you go that far back with. We'll always be part of each other's lives, I hope. And always be available to each other, to help out with projects or whatever.
And it's cool. The stage manager for Lily and Axe is your singer. And
Richie. Yeah, Richie's from being a drummer in our opening band for Circle of Light to actually being our lead singer in the current band and the stage manager for the band I used to be in. So yeah, we're all like inbred. This whole thing is all it's all intertwined and all messed up.
Yeah, man, I had the honor to meet Richie, and it was down there in Jackson. I tried to help them tear down the stage, but I was there to hang out with Steve and all the guys. Everybody was leaving, and I'm like, God, I'm trying to help too. So, man, what a great guy, though. I have to say, man, he's a really great singer too, by the way.
He is. He's a hell of a singer. Dude, you should hear him on drums, man. He's a hell of a drummer. And to do them both, it always blows me away. Because, in Powershrine, I'm doing 90% of the background vocals. And, man, it is friggin' hard to play drums and sing background vocals. Just to sing anything. You're not breathing right. And the melody lines, which I'm writing, you would think I would, I'm writing a good bit of them. You'd think I would write stuff that would be easy to play, but no, I never do.
It's hard.
I want to hear, and then I get behind the kit and hope it works, and that's not the easiest way to do it. I'm making my job a lot harder. But, it's all about the song for us. It's all about whatever. We're not having a big ego power struggle to get, who's writing the most material. Michael writes the riffs. He's the riff master. The guy, he churns them out at an unbelievable rate. Richie and I both write lyrics and melodies, and, we both work together seamlessly. Nobody butts heads over. It's a really nice little arrangement we've got. I hope we can keep that level, of harmony the way we work together, because, nobody's trying to get their idea, force their idea in. It's all, wait a minute, that sounds better. Let's use that. And that's the way that the better songs come about.
Oh, yeah.
That's something I hope that we can maintain, even with the new guys as we start bringing them in more on the writing. By the way, the other new guy, which I have yet to mention, our bass player, most people don't realize, because Michael always played bass. He's an amazing bass player, but in Powershrine, Michael is the rhythm guitar player.
Oh, hell yeah.
Play bass. So we had to go out and find us a bass player. Oddly enough, when we go with the inbred, intertwining theme, Jeremy, who is our bass player, also at times roadies for Lily and Axe at Stevie's Tech. His name's Jeremy Sevens, an amazing bass player. He plays with a band based, well, they were originally based out of New Orleans. Now I'm not sure. But a band called Farewell to Fear you may have heard of.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, great band,
yes.
Phenomenal band. Had a lot of airplay. They did a remake on one of their records of Rihanna's song "Diamonds."
Yes,
which got a nice nod and a lot of play and attention on the Howard Stern show a couple of years back. Gave them a really nice push. Jeremy is now our bass player in Powershrine. Another guy just amazing to work with. Great player, stepped right in seamlessly. Really great guys. And if you're interested, I might be able to hook you up with him for an interview one of these days. You could do a whole Farewell to Fear thing if you'd like.
Hell yeah, that would be amazing, brother.
You just hit me up, baby. I'll hook you up.
Hell yeah. Well, let's talk about this last song, man. And one thing else I want to ask you before I do let you go, Danny. I mean, what advice could you give a child, somebody just growing up getting into music? I mean, a youngster that wants to either, it don't matter whether it's guitar, drums, violin, trumpet, flute. What advice could you give a child that just wants to get into music?
Oh man, nowadays it's a scary proposition, man. I got to tell you, I wouldn't want to be coming up in the industry nowadays. I would tell anyone, man, be 100% sure it's your passion. It is what you want to do, because you're going to have to eat a lot of shit along the way nowadays. It's a hard business, it really is.
Yeah, I know, man. I've been doing it for too long.
Yeah, well, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and and like we talked about earlier, the way the industry has changed and morphed into, what it is today. It's not the game that it used to be. It's a whole nother deal.
Oh
and
yeah.
You really, really.
I see some of the biggest
guys. That, into it for free weed and and free drinks or chicks.
Well, I see guys doing it on their own now. They're even leaving the major labels. And I'm not going to name any names just because, but I know a band that just left one major label that Motley Crue's with. I mean, it's like, wow. And they were getting screwed, man. And
you almost don't need the labels anymore.
There you go.
Almost don't. If you can get distribution. Technology is at the point now where you can put out a pretty good project, pretty good product, for amazingly low prices nowadays. I have some friends of mine in a band called Catharsis, heavy band, really, really good. Their first album they did themselves. Their former bass player, I used to work with the guy. Their first record, it's amazing. I mean, you hear the production, and it sounds like $100,000 production. I think he said they did it for under $5,000.
Damn.
Sounds amazing. If you know what you're doing, it's a whole other ballgame now. Technology, Pro Tools.
Yeah, Pro Tools help out. Yes.
You can put out a pretty impressive product nowadays for a little money. So what the hell do you need a label for? If you can get some kind of distribution and you're a good self-promoter, you don't necessarily need a label anymore.
That's right.
That's why a lot of bands, I don't think, take that route. You can do it yourself if you have, again, you have to have that fire and that passion to really want to, just throw yourself into it.
Yeah, distribution means everything in the music world. And that's,
I mean, and that's the one thing in the business that hasn't changed. Promotion is everything. I don't care how good it is. If nobody knows it's out there, nobody's going to buy it.
There you go. It runs hand in hand. I do it all the time, and it's like, you can get sick of it, but you love it if you're doing it.
Right. That would be my advice to anyone coming up, man. Make sure you love it, and you're ready for the long haul. And let's face it, most musicians, true musicians, it's in their blood. They have to do it, so that's not an issue. It's something that you just have to do. It's part of your personality that you just have to create. You have to listen to the music first of all, because you need it to feed your soul, and then you have to create it, and share it with other people. If you've got that going for you, then I don't see how you have a choice but do anything else. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Well, hey, let's talk about Worth Dying For. I mean, this is another song you guys you come together with.
I would say
let's talk about that.
The closest thing to our radio single type song that you'll get. It's not as harsh and heavy as some of the other stuff that we write. It's a little bit. It's at least it's a commercial song, but it's still got a hard edge to it. As usual, Michael came up with the riffs, always does. And on this one, actually, Richie and I both did the words and the melodies. It was a pure collaboration between the two of us, and I think we did a hell of a job. Came out pretty damn good. We like it.
I love it.
And I hope everyone else will like it too. Give it a spin and see what they think.
Well, Danny, I want to say, man, thanks for taking out your time tonight to be on the David Ray Global Rock Show and supporting DAS and Global Rock Radio, man. It's really amazing for somebody in your caliber to really come out and come on the show and support what we do.
Well, listen, on behalf of all the guys, we want to thank you for the opportunity. Caliber or not, this band is brand spanking new. We're infants, we're babies, nobody knows who we are, and you're giving us some exposure, so all thanks to you from all the guys. We really want to thank you, first of all, for giving us the opportunity to play our stuff and to talk, and for most definitely your listeners, those out there who sat down and took the time to listen. God bless every one of you.
Hell yeah. I'd love to come hang out with you guys.
Hey, man, anytime. I'm only a few hours from you. You're up by Jackson, right?
Well, I'm actually right outside Meridian.
Okay, well, you're only a few hours from here, man.
Yeah.
Come on down to the coast anytime. I'll buy you dinner.
Hell yeah, man.
And drinks.
Now, I might have to bring my daughter with me. That would be cool. We need to make a trip this summer.
Well, I'll get my daughter. I'll get my daughter out here too. She'll be 13. They're not that far off in age. We'll go do dinner, drink, a movie, whatever. We'll go hang out and take the kids anytime, man. Hit me up on the Facebook.
Hell yeah, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming on, man. And we're going to play Worth Dying For. Guys, please check him out. That was Danny King, the original drummer from Lillian Axe. He's got a new band called Powershrine. And, hey, man, you can get this stuff sent to you for free. That is amazing. So, if you guys love what you're hearing, hey, hit Danny up. Hey, hit the page up, more or less. Anyway, hey, this is Powershrine with Worth Dying For. You can only find this great music right here on the David Ray Global Rock Show.